Test 1, 2, 3. Test 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey guys, we're gonna go live here in just a moment. Hey guys, we're gonna go live here in just a moment. Hey guys.
What's up, fam jam and hammies? Hope all is Osteen, you know? Healthy and wealthy. Now, we're hearing all this talk about we're all in this together and stay at home and just go about life as normally as possible. Well, to that, I only have one word. YOKO. Am I right, boys? YOKO! YOKO simply stands for You Only Quarantine Once. It's not a choice, but a way of life. Why simply sit around and let the days pass when you carpe diem and please the day?
To put it in layman's terms, YOKO is simply a lifestyle for those who choose to make the best out of our current circumstances. When life hands you lemons, you take those lemons and you throw them back at life, because I have a very strict hypoallergenic citrus allergy that causes me to go into anaphylactic shock at a moment's notice. So I present to you YOKO in action. Let's go. Eating 30 pounds of Supreme slow-cooked chicken nachos at 7 a.m. after staying up all night playing Warzone?
Missed your grandpa and not able to see him since this whole thing broke out? No worries. Make your homie into a grandpa. YOKO! 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 YOKO!
Catching up on Judge Judy?
YOKO! Guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
Face your fears? YOKO?
YOKO! YOKO! Wrestle taser? Boys? YOKO! YOKO! Oh! No, okay, Pete, peanut allergy!
No, guys, no, that... Dying alone?
YOKO!
It's actually a real fear of mine. Anybody else have any other fears?
Public speaking?
YOKO!
So I've gathered you here today to talk about the cell leaving the nucleus host.
Playing catch with random objects?
YOKO!
That's this.
What is that, a crowbar?
YOKO! 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 YOKO!
Oh, hey there, neighbor. What's that?
Oh my gosh. I'm dying here watching this YOKO or whatever you say. Oh man. Hey guys, welcome back this afternoon. Hey, Jared, just so you know, these are amazing. Found them at ClickList at Dillon's. I am in love. I'm eating way too many. You guys haven't tried those nerds. They are amazing. So real quick, while I pop a few of these in my mouth. So over here we've got and over here's the details. But next week we are not having like a youth group where we do like what we've done the last 3 weeks, where we have a lesson and play a short game. The entire youth group next week is the game. It is a costume party bingo. You guys dress up in whatever it is you want, as long as you're dressed. That's what matters the most. And your ability to dress up will actually give you better chances to win than if you don't. You'll find out next Wednesday night how that works. But what you'll do is you'll dress up, you'll log on the Zoom, you'll bring a pen and a couple sheets of paper with you, because you'll be making multiple bingo cards on your own with your pen and your paper at home. And then we'll play some bingo, and we'll have some consequences throughout bingo. We'll have you guys do some random crazy stuff if you land on certain letters and numbers. And then if you do win, you do get a bingo, you'll be able to take your card, put it up in front of the camera, show us that, yeah, I legitimately did this. And then you have to play truth or dare before you actually win your prize. We're ordering a bunch of random, hilariously fun, cool stuff off of Amazon. It'll be here, and then if you win, we ship it to you, or we may just drive by your house and ding dong ditch you and leave it on the porch. So we'll have some fun with that with you guys. May 6th at 7 o'clock p.m. We're going back to p.m. on May 6th. And so let's be honest. You guys, that week, the governor could lift the ban on quarantine by then, and we could be able to meet in a little bit bigger groups than 10 right now. But I think our youth group is still a little too big to be able to meet in that standard. But if you guys want to invite friends to your house, you jump on your computer together and play together at your home, that's totally cool. You can all make your own bingo cards, and you can have like 5 people in your room on your computer on Zoom, and then basically just whoever wins just holds up the card, and we'll have a lot of fun together. So next week, Wednesday, we'll see you guys. So without further ado, though, this week in our Trick Shot Challenge, I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed we only had 1 entry. And so if you're the only entry, that means you win. So Jacob, you're getting another gift card in the mail. Here is Jacob's Trick Shot. It's pretty awesome. Good stuff, man. Jacob killing it there. Some awesome reflexes. Boom, boom, boom. Jacob, real quick, while we're watching your replay here, type in the comments how many times it took you to put that pencil into the glass. I'm curious to see how many times it took you to get that thing in there. And if you answer 1, I know you're lying. There's no way that took you 1 try. About 5 or 6. That's not too bad. That's pretty good. It's probably a lot quicker than I was. Now that's probably a little over a minute at the most. So that's awesome. So all right, here's how we're going to do it. Morgan, you got a list of everybody who's here? All right. Everybody say hi, Morgan. Can we turn the computer? There we go. Awesome. Morgan's in the house. So, Morgan, you got the list ready, and I can go ahead and announce who's going to play the Family Feud first.
Jacob and Harley.
All right. So, I'm still waiting on Todd to show up. He's supposed to be helping here. So, are these guys, girls, or are they mixed up?
Guys, girls.
Let's mix them up a little bit. Let's have 2 teams. Okay, guys and girls it is. Guys and girls it is. Guys, we're going to have you guys play. We've got Jared. We've got Jacob. And who else is in there, Morgan?
Harley.
Another guys team.
Oh, guys, Jared.
All right, we got 2 guys playing here. I could play for the guys. There's no way I would possibly know the answers that are on my screen over here. So, Jacob, you're going first, and it looks like you're going against Harley. So, everybody, let's let Jacob and Harley play this game, and no one else is allowed to mess around with this on this time. So, we'll have you guys give your input here in a little bit. But your first question on the Family Feud is going to be this. All right, name something that parents tell their kids not to waste. Jacob and Harley, type in your answers. Let's see who gets in there first. Watching the chat flow. Oh man, I got 2 answers came in back to back, but it looks like Jacob's answer came first. So let's see where food ranks on this list. All right, food is on the list. So Jared, you are on the hook now. You have 10 seconds to answer this question. Name something parents tell their kids not to waste. Man, great job on getting the number 1 answer, Jacob. All right. All right, Jared says money, and money is the number 2 answer. Nice job. Very cool. Jacob, we're back to you. Go ahead and keep going back and forth here. Money, money, money. I love it, Jared. Show me the money. Nice job. All right, Jacob. Your life. Don't waste your life. Man, you know what? Oddly but true, it is on the board. Life, it doesn't have any points next to it, but it's on the board. I guess that means No one answered it, but it's a good answer anyway. I don't know. So don't waste your life. All right, Jared, back to you. No X's yet. You guys are 100%. 3 for 3 here. Let's see if you guys can keep it rolling. Jared's thinking hard. All right, water. Don't waste water. Guess what? Jared's a dad. He's got boys. He knows that that is an answer. That's a top 3 answer right there. Nice job. Boys, you're 4 for 4. Jacob, you're up again. There are still 2 answers left. What do we have here? What can you do? Answer 4 and 5, Jacob. All right, in the chat while you guys are waiting for the money, there we go. Jacob's got his answer, electricity. So while you guys are waiting for our last answer from Jared, because electricity is on the board, why don't you guys write down, like, have your parents ever told you how long that your shower should last? And if they've told you how long your shower should last, it shouldn't be any longer than blank. What would that number be? Like, how many minutes are your parents saying, hey, this is all the longer you should be using hot water when you shower? Has anyone ever done that? 15 minutes? Man, that's crazy, a long time. I tell my kids half that time, at least my boys. All the girls, 15 minutes. Jacob, 30 seconds. That's about how long it takes. Soap included, Jacob, or is that an extra amount of time? All right, Jared, you got an answer? We got one more thing on the board here. Let's see if you've got an answer for us. All right. My time. Oh my gosh, guys, you nailed it. A perfect 6 for 6. You swept the round. Let's go to round 2 here. Round 2 coming up. All right, guys. Let's see. I got our next question. Morgan, who's playing the game?
Avery.
Avery is playing against Jared, apparently, because, you know, there's only 2 guys. So Avery and Jared, you guys are on the clock. Here is your question. The 100 people survey, top 5 answers on the board. The question is this. Name something around the house that family members use the last of and don't replace. Oh, man. You guys are smart. You both answered the same thing. It looks like boys are just a hair quicker. Let's see if toilet paper is on the board. And guess what? It's the number 1 answer. Girls, get ready to steal. There's no way they're getting all of these. It's impossible. Let's see what happens here. Jacob, you're up next. You get the next answer, all right? Let's see if you can do it. Or will the boys finally get a strike this round? Let's see what happens. All right, time is running out. You better answer or I'll have to strike you. Oh, here it is. Plastic cups. The first X for the guys. That is not an answer. Jared, you have one. Got 1 strike against you. This game show today has been brought to you by Nerds. Big chewy candy. Milk. Don't waste the milk. Man, that is number 2. You guys are killing it with the top answers here. Nice job. Jacob, we are back to you. Girls, you don't mind if I try to answer, do you? I promise I haven't looked at any of the answers. All right. All right, Jacob. Well, let's cash it in here. In 3, 2, 1. Time. Oh, it says spoons. Okay, spoons is not an answer. That is not an answer. But I bet you, in a family your size, you guys eat a lot of cereal and probably run out of spoons a lot. All right, Jared, it's up to you to keep your team alive, man. Name something around the house that family members use the last of and don't replace. Answer number 4 is like my big pet peeve. All right, paper towels. It will count as number 3. Tissue / Kleenex. Paper towels count as like a tissue paper product. Nice job. Jacob, keep your team alive, man. What's something that people in your house use the last of and then don't replace? Think of something really annoying that happens around your home. I think one of my pet peeves is when someone uses the last of like the cereal and they close up the box and put the box back in the cabinet anyway. Yeah. All right, so cans. That is incorrect. Girls. Over here, did it. Who?
Oh, Brenna.
All right, Brenna. You're going to be my official answer lady. But girls, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to type as many answers as you want in the chat. And then Brenna will have a chance to use one of those answers or one of her own to give us her final answer. So here we go. I got cereal. We got coffee. Soap. Cereal, soap, wipes, napkins. Napkins is already off the board. I'll just warn you there, ladies. Fruit. Hand sanitizer. That's a very modern. Dogs. I hate it when I use the last dog. Maybe at those restaurants with the meat shortage, maybe they'll start using dogs to cook our hamburgers. All right, Brenna. Time is up. Are you Kinsey Summers? If that's you, I see toothpaste as your answer. So let's take a look and see if toothpaste is on the board. And it is. Nice job, girls. You stole this game back from the guys. They have way more correct answers than you, but that doesn't matter. The rounds are even 1-1. The last answer is soap. Some of you girls mentioned that in the chat, and so that is actually a correct answer. Very nice. All right. Let's see. We got the last round here. I'm going to take you back to your childhood now, okay? You're going to go back to your childhood when you were a little kid for just a second, all right? Let me ask my producer just a quick question here. All right, we're back. We have a question for you guys. This one's going to be let's see here. Oh, there it is. 100 people surveyed, top 4 answers on the board. So whoever takes this is probably going to win this round. These are all super easy, in my opinion. Let's see what happens. It's Jacob is going to go against which girl, Morgan?
Andrea.
All right, Andrea and Jacob. You guys are battling to steal this question and take it back to your team. So get your fingers ready. Get your typing fingers handy. Here we go. Here's your question. 100 people surveyed. Top 4 answers on the board. Name something little kids beg parents for at bedtime. This is a good one. Name something little kids beg parents for at bedtime. Oh man, you guys always have the same answers. This is amazing. So the answer is story. Jacob, you got story and you were first, but Andrea, I'm going to give you a chance to get a higher answer on the chart here. So Andrea, if you can come up with, and girls, no one can answer but Andrea right now. So if Andrea, if you can come up with an answer that's higher than story, then you can finish playing this round. Otherwise, the boys get to wrap up this round. All right, Andrew, I'll give you 10 seconds. That's good advice, Leah. Think like a 5-year-old. This is exactly what a 5-year-old will do. A hug. Is a hug on the board? It's not. It's not. It's a great answer, but it's not on the board. So, Jared, you get the next answer. Boys are playing right here. Jared, Jacob, you guys can finish this off. But girls, be thinking of an answer. You still have a chance, a small chance, but a chance to steal. What do we got here, Jared? What you got? A drink. Yep, that is our number one answer. That's the one you were looking for, ladies. But nice job, boys. Way to keep it rolling. All right, Jacob, you got 10 seconds. Name something little kids beg their parents for at bedtime. Food. Yes, absolutely. They want food. They want a snack, man. And you know why kids do that, right? Anything you can do to prolong going to bed. Anything you can do. All right, Jared, you are on the clock. No strikes for the boys. I'm curious to see if the boys have any strikes here on this one. This last one could be hard, though. It's hard to say. 5 more minutes. And guess what? It fits your category. To stay up longer. Just a little bit longer. A little bit longer. Nah, Leah, they're not cheating. You're just jealous. Don't hate the player. Just hate the game, man. These guys are killing it tonight. Awesome job. Awesome job. So, Jacob, you can pat yourself on one side of your back for winning the trick shot, and on the other side for bringing it home here on the Family Feud. Nice job. So, guys, tonight we're going to wrap up our last section of In My Opinion. And in my opinion, again, just is talking about and focusing on this idea that our opinions really, they're okay to have opinions, but our opinions can really have a toll on other people around us when we use those. And so tonight, it's another great message from the folks at the Orange, our curriculum folks, and they're going to bring us and wrap up this series. So let's go ahead and drop in and see what they have to say.
Does your school have cliques? You know, those groups of people who they just bond together based on things they have in common? I mean, at my school there was the band clique, you know, or the sports clique, or like 3-pointer, or the smart kids, me, duh, or even the church kids, me, again. I mean, I think I was like all those kids at one point or another. See, while you might get along well and have a ton in common with the people in your clique, you might have a lot of strong opinions about the people in other cliques, the ones who are maybe a little different from you. So in middle school, I had my group of friends, there were there were a bunch of groups of friends, basically whoever you sat with at the lunch table, right? You know what I'm talking about. So there's this one kid, we'll call him Joe. Now Joe, he was not a part of my clique. We didn't really hang out that much. When Joe and I did hang out, it wasn't really the best of times. See, Joe wasn't really nice, like, at all. So, anytime I would run into Joe, do you think he was handing out candy bars? No. Joe was actually kind of a bully. And not only to me, but a couple kids in our grade. And every time I ran into him, I thought, this kid is just a big meanie. Man, he's just the worst. How could anybody ever want to hang out with him? This kid was just never fun to be around. He was never nice to anyone. I mean, this guy was just kind of mean. He was rude, impolite, young gentleman. Here's the truth. we all have those kinds of opinions about other people, right? I mean, oftentimes it's easy for us to form opinions or assume we know things to be true about people who are different than us. I mean, sure, we don't know them all that well, but we definitely think we do. And what we think to be true of them becomes our opinion of who they actually are. Think for just a minute about the cliques in and around your school. You probably have assumptions or opinions about each and every one of them. Maybe you've thought things like the rich kids are, all the people on the sports teams are, the smart kids are, those cheerleaders are, the band kids are. And I bet right now you're filling in each of these blanks with what you think you know about each one of these groups of people. I mean, we all do it. Even here at church. I bet you found yourself looking around and noticing cliques or groups of people and have thoughts like, the kids who always come to church, or those students from school, they're always, or those kids in the younger grades, they are always. Again, we form opinions about these people based on our assumptions. And just like that, our opinions become facts. And what's really tricky is that those opinions or assumptions come from all kinds of places. Maybe you think something about a certain group of people because of a past experience you had. Maybe they bullied you, or hurt you, or embarrassed you, or just weren't all that kind. Maybe you saw them act a certain way or do a certain thing, but whatever it was, that experience shaped your opinion. Or maybe for you, it really is just an assumption. You don't actually know the things you believe or think about that person or group of people are true. You just think it might be true. And for you, that assumption is enough to change your opinion. Or maybe for you, it's an opinion based in jealousy or insecurity. Yep, me? Jealous? Insecure? Never. A lot of the time, actually. Those other people have something you want or wish you had. And because you don't, you have negative feelings or opinions about them. Whatever the reason, when it comes to people who are different than us, people we don't really understand, we let our judgments and opinions affect how we view them. That's a problem for a lot of reasons. I mean, for starters, our judgments aren't usually nice and kind thoughts. We aren't typically describing people we don't really know with words like awesome or so cool, or they're just so fun to be around. Not only does that mean we're judging or seeing them negatively, but it also means we probably aren't going to give them a chance in the future. I mean, we've already made up our minds, right? We don't need to get to know them or learn anything else about them because in our minds, we already know who they are. But here's what I think we're missing. When we base our view of someone else on one experience or one opinion or one assumption, we aren't seeing the whole story. We aren't seeing the whole person. Okay, so there's a story in the Bible that I think can help us change the way we see other people. It's found in the book of John, which was written by one of Jesus's closest friends and followers named John. John was one of 12 men who walked closest with Jesus and learned from him during his ministry on earth. John wrote down what he actually saw, heard, and experienced as a follower of Jesus. And that's what we have to look at today. When we pick up our story, Jesus was teaching to a group of people when several religious leaders interrupted him with a question. "Teacher," they said to Jesus, "this woman was caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses says to stone her. What do you say?" So basically, these religious leaders came to Jesus with a question about a woman who was caught sleeping with someone who wasn't her husband. That's so awkward. And the religious leaders, they knew the rules. They understood what the law said. Back then, when somebody committed adultery, they'd be stoned. And that basically means people would literally throw stones at them until they died. What? These religious leaders thought they knew exactly what Jesus was going to say about this woman. They were so sure that they interrupted his teaching just to get the answer. And they knew the answer was not only going to prove they were right about who this woman was, but also show how much better they were than she was. Now, can we all admit that we, just like the religious leaders, have a tendency to think better of ourselves than we do about others? We tend to see what other people do or who they are much differently than the way we see ourselves. And because of that, we've put space between us and them. We let our opinions and judgments define who they are, and we slowly move ourselves away from them. That's exactly what these religious leaders were doing with this woman. That's probably what they thought Jesus would do too. Instead, Jesus did something I don't think anybody expected. The religious leaders kept demanding an answer. So he stood up again and said, "All right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone." Then he stooped down again and wrote in the dust. My man had no time for these guys, not enough time. He sat and wrote in the dust. See, Jesus challenged these religious leaders to look inward at themselves and their own sin instead of just judging others. Jesus told them that the one who hadn't sinned, who had never messed up or ever made a mistake or ever done anything wrong, was the only one who had the right to throw a stone at this woman. And as you can imagine, no one there besides Jesus fell into that category. While they were standing there, the religious leaders felt convicted and their argument shut down completely. Instead of throwing stones like they planned, John wrote, after they heard what Jesus said, they slipped away one by one by one. And soon, it was only Jesus left standing with this woman. Here's what happened next. Then Jesus stood up again and said to the woman, "Where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you?" "No, Lord," she said. And Jesus said, "Neither do I. Go and sin no more." While the religious leaders had judged this woman on only one thing they knew about her, Jesus saw something else. Jesus saw this woman as so much more than one bad decision. She was so much more than one opinion or one judgment or one experience. Jesus knew the whole story, and he loved her no matter what. Nobody in this story was really who everyone else thought they'd be. Everyone judged this woman as bad, but Jesus showed that she was worthy of forgiveness and a future. Everyone judged these religious leaders as good, but Jesus showed that they were no better than the woman they came to stone. The truth is, we are all made in the image of God, and that alone makes us worthy of his love and forgiveness. That's the way Jesus saw other people, and he calls us to see them in the same way. Jesus wants us to remember that there's more to other people than just our opinions of them. Kind of like my friend Joe we talked about earlier, who was kind of mean to me. You see, later in the school year, another kid was picking on me, and out of nowhere, Joe came up and stood in between the two of us and defended me. He told the other kid to walk away and leave me alone. But I thought Joe was just mean, but maybe he's not always like that. Maybe my one experience with him isn't who he actually is. You see, reducing someone to just one judgment or opinion causes you to miss so much. I mean, those band kids at your school, maybe they're really funny, but you have no idea because you've judged them as boring. Those cheerleaders in the lunchroom might be the nicest people in your grade, but you just assume they're mean, and that's become who they are in your eyes. Those kids in your small group who come to church all the time, maybe they're struggling with the same things you are, but you'll never know because they're perfect in your opinion. You might be missing out on so much about someone by simply letting your opinions and judgments define them. So my challenge to you is to remember this: there's more to others than just our opinions of them. To help you remember, I want you to try one of these two things this week. First, worry about yourself. Yeah, I'm calling you out. When you find yourself about to form an opinion or make a judgment about someone else, worry about yourself instead. Just as Jesus reminded those religious leaders, we've all got our own mistakes and missteps to worry about. So instead of focusing on someone else's behavior or interests or choices that you don't understand, focus on what you're doing and how you can better live out the life God has for you. Or maybe remove the judgment. Think about who in your world that you've judged or formed an opinion about without truly getting to know them. What if instead of judging them with what you think you know about them, you let the facts define them? What if you only focus on what you know to be true about them? Now, while you may not know much about the other person or group of people right away, you do know this for sure. They are children of God, made in His image and deserving of His love. Just start there. Then, instead of making assumptions, think of them with compassion, love, and kindness and grace, just like Jesus did. Remember, there's more to others than just our opinions of them. As you head out today, ask yourself this question: what's one way I form opinions about people who are different than me?
Awesome message, guys. I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but there's also more than people's opinions of you too. But this series is about our opinions of other people. There is way more to people than our opinions of them, and I hope that you guys remember and think that through this week. And you know, right now you're not at school, which is kind of in some ways kind of cool, because at school that's where everyone's opinions are like the worst of us, right? Or our opinions are worse of others. So in your home, though, it may be of things that are going on between you and your siblings or parents or whatever the case is going on. Or your opinion of what I'm wearing. You don't think I look very nice in my new outfit. Well, I'm just here to let you know that this could be something you want to wear to the costume bingo party. We are super excited about that for next week at 7 o'clock on May 6th, next Wednesday. Don't forget to dress up. You have a better chance to win something, and we hope to see you there. Don't forget, the governor releases some new rules this week, and it's possible that we can meet in larger groups very soon. So keep your eyes open for that. I do have this to say to you guys real quick. There is no summer camp. CIY officially canceled that. And so we've made some different plans for the summer that we will reveal in a couple more weeks for you guys to let you know what's going on and what we're doing this summer. We're really ramping things up because we feel like in our hearts we want to make things up to you guys for the losses you've had in some of your lives. And don't forget, 8th graders, we will have some closure of some kind. We're still trying to figure out what that looks like, but hang in there, and we look forward to seeing you guys soon. Don't forget, again, May 6th, we'll see you at 7 o'clock for the costume party bingo. Good night, all.